Hi everyone, welcome to iMaster NCE-Campus Software Installation session. So today we're going to introduce to you how to install physical machine using our very helpful tools and how to check documentations when you need help. So let's get started. So today's session is for installation and commissioning engineers, technical support engineers, and maintenance engineers. And the scope of today's session is gonna describe how to install and deploy iMaster NCE-Campus. And you're advised to read the iMaster NCE-Campus V3R22C00, our latest product documentations first. If you want to see the documentation, is right here. Yeah, we're gonna share the link for the documentations. It's on the support website, and it's on the enterprise support website, and under the Cloud Campus Solution and iMaster NCE-Campus product documentation Euler headaches, and you come to the installation, software installation, and iMaster NCE-Campus installation, one-click installation. That's what we're going to cover for today's session. Server minimum cluster. So the documentation is displaying the full information for you, and today's session is just an introduction summary. So the first part is to introduce you the iMaster NCE-Campus Installation Solutions. So NCE is an innovative engine that helps you to manage, monitor, and analyze your network. It can also control who actually can have access to your network and make sure that they have access to specific resources. And the important tool that you need to use is called Easy Switch, like here. Yeah, it's called this one, Easy Switch. You can either use it online or like locally, and it helps you to walk through the planning, installation, and deployment, and you can make an installation plan on it, like planning IP address and passwords for your servers to be installed with NCE. So after you confirm the plan and receive hardware at your site, Easy Switch starts to install NCE without further manual operations. So this is why we recommend you to use Easy Switch for installation. And here is the main solutions for installing NCE. The responsible party for installing each component varies among these solutions. As you can see in this figure, the components in green are deployed by Huawei engineers, and those in gray needs to be deployed by yourself. For on-premise solutions, regardless of whether NCE is deployed on PM or VMs, all components are deployed by Huawei. As you can see, in on-premise solutions, we use Euler OS. And we do have another option. If you want to use SUSE as your operating system, you can choose to use SUSE delivered by Huawei or prepare it on your own. If you use Huawei delivered operating system, our Huawei engineers will install the operating system for you. And if you prepare it on your own, then it's your responsibility to install it. That is the difference. The on-premise deployment based on PMs and VMs is most commonly used. In the following, we're gonna focus on this scenario. So this is an architecture of NCE if it's installed on Huawei physical servers. So at the bottom is the hardware layer, that is the physical servers. So here are the server requirements. Above is the operating system layer. We use Euler OS in this solution. And here is the database layer. We use GaussDB as our database. And both the operating system and the database are developed by Huawei. At the upper layer are the application are the applications provided by NCE, including management cluster, data collection cluster, and authentication cluster. So all these applications are provided as microservices. This layer also opens third-party APIs to northbound systems and provides the portal service for users to access the NCE's web UI. So for the management layer, it provides the functions such as tenant management, configuration management, system management, operations and management, and monitoring. And for data collection microservice, we provide pre-processes performance data, saves such data to the database, and analyze data through the southbound channels. And for authentication cluster, it provides user authentication and authentication functions. So after having a brief overview of NCE, so here's how NCE look like, and let's go ahead and show you the installation process. Like I just said, there is more than one way to deploy NCE. The process also varies according to your deployment solution. So first, let's see one-click installation on physical servers. In this solution, NCE together with the operating system can be installed using Easy Switch. So the Easy Switch we just see before. We're gonna dive deeper into how to use Easy Switch and using the actual screenshot like later in this session. And for now, yeah, definitely you're gonna get PPT PowerPoint after the session. And so this PM-based one-click installation can be installed using Easy Switch. You only need to plan your network settings and make your service ready. And the Easy Switch will help you to finish all the things left, such as setting IP addresses, passwords, and installing NCE on your servers. So after the installation completes, you need to configure a backup server to back up the product data and apply for NCE licenses. So for here, this is gonna be the process that we're going to go through today. We first do the network planning, and what you as an engineer need to prepare is to learn the planning principles, to download the software packages and use Easy Switch to plan the installation settings. And then we go into the preparations and NCE installation. For preparations, connect the cables and configure the PC and configure the IBMC management module for the server. And then do the NCE installation, select an installation solution, load the software packages to the NCE, and set IP address and other parameters, check the environment integrity, and start the installation, and then do the post-installation operations. So later we're gonna be showing you three different NCE installation process. So make sure you remember, like right now is PM-based one-click installation. So this is the one-click installation for physical machine. And the next one is manual installation for physical machine. And if the requirement is large, then we use a VM-based installation. But VM-based installation doesn't have one-click installation choices. It only have the manual installation choice. So let's come back to the first page. So for this one, we do network planning and then post-installation operations, and between that is just preparations and NCE installation. And if you choose to do it manually, one thing extra is that you need to do the operating system installation. You need to install the OS and configure the OS. That's the only difference between this one-click installation and the manual installation. And for VM-based manual installation, as you can see here, you need to add another part, the VM installation and configuration. You need to install the CNA VRM and configure the Fusion Compute. So this flowchart also uses a single site as an example. If you want to do virtual deployment, many customers have virtual environment. Then this process can apply to your network. You need to create and configure a virtual machine by yourself. The remaining steps are the same as those in the previous processes. So now we know the deployment solutions and processes. Before the installation, there's another important step, that is to plan your network. So this is an overview of planning process on the Easy Switch. Briefly speaking, first you need to create a project and then select a solution that is best suited for your site. And for example, you want to deploy a single node system or for example, you want to deploy a single node system or a 3-node cluster. You need to provide the NCE version and whether the virtualization is required and etc. And after that, download the required packages and finally set the planning parameters. So there are lots of parameters need to be set when you do the planning. So first of all, we need to understand what the parameters mean and what they're used for. So for here, the entire process is to first learn the principles. Of course, we're learning it right here, and you can read it in the documentations. Then create a project on the Easy Switch. Create a project based on the live network conditions, such as the management scale, component solution, and the deployment scenario, and select the product type and version and plan the configurations. Then select a solution, confirm the project plan, and adjust the details. And then download the software packages. You can either download the packages one by one, or you're very advised. You're very welcome to use the tool called EasyGet. We're gonna be showing you how to use EasyGet to like batch apply for software packages. And then in the end, plan the IP address and passwords. Enter these information to Easy Switch, and then it can operate it for you when you install the NCE in the future. So the NCE planning principles. These are this may look a lot, but let's just take a look at the bullet points. Then it's gonna be clear. So this is the prerequisites for doing everything later on. So let's go over this page. First of all, is the network plane. So NCE provides altogether 4 planes. The internal communication plane right here. Let me like try to change my pencil. Yeah. The internal communication plane, the service communication plane, the northbound plane, and the southbound plane. So the internal communication plane, as the name suggests, is used to connect used by the internal nodes to communicate with each other. So it enables communication between the NCE service node, including GaussDB. And the service communication plane is used to distribute NCE services, and the northbound plane provides the services in the northbound direction, such as access to the NCE management plane web UI. And similarly, the southbound plane faces the southbound devices and manages these devices through the netconf protocol. And 4 planes provides the best performance, but its configuration is rather complex and require planning personnel to have higher technical skills. And NCE allows you to combine some of these network planes based on your actual requirements, such as more network options are available. You can combine the 4 planes into one, but note that this mode applies only to single node systems. That is not recommended. Or you can combine these 3 planes, service communication, northbound and southbound planes into one. So you can combine these into one, and then and then still have the internal communication plane. So these two modes can meet requirements in most cases. So if you combine the service communication planes, northbound and southbound plane into one, you're gonna enter this scenario, the two-plane networking. So you can either use a single plane networking, which is like not very recommended, and then two-plane networking. This is the most recommended one, and the three-plane networking. This is gonna be kind of complex. So this one consists of internal communication plane, service communication plane on its own, and integrate the northbound and southbound plane. And this figure describes the network planes. As you can see, the services, service applications, and also the database are connected through the internal communication plane. Look, here, internal communication plane. This one is the green one. So here are the applications, the database and services, and the LVS here helps distribute service requests through the service communication plane. The southbound plane connects to the NCE, the southbound plane right here, the red one. It connects to the NCE managed devices, and the northbound planner connects to the external systems. And NAT here is optional. Okay, then now we know what does each network plane do. To enable all these interactions, we need IP address for each node. As you can see in this figure, the components in this figure with numbers are here require specific IP addresses. So this is number 1, number 2. This is corresponding to the next page. So so the number 1 here on the service communication plane, number 1, the IP address is NGIC's floating IP address, and the network plane is the internal communication plane. Oh, like later on after the session, you're gonna get the PowerPoint, so you can come back and check the corresponding the correspondence, like between these planes and the details. So this one is on the internal communication plane, and for two here, ACA, and it's also on the internal communication plane. Look here, on the internal communication plane. And for 3 is the ER floating IP address. It loads the LVS, northbound UI, and northbound API request. Is on the service communication plane. 3 here is on the service communication plane. And the 5, LVS load balancing DPI, the route for load balancing return traffic of LVS backend nodes points to this IP address. The 5 is also on the service communication plane, and so on. And 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 corresponds to northbound or southbound plane. North is 4, 7, 8. Hold on. So this one's for north, and north. And 6 and 9 are for south, connecting to this red one, the plane, the southbound plane. So this helps you to plan out the IP address corresponding to each plane. And now we know how to plan the network planes and IP address. Then how do I connect NCE servers to switches and connect them with your PC used for installation? So let's look at this figure. It used two-plane networking as an example. So remember the two-plane we just introduced. So the two-plane is internal communication plane and then the combined plane. We're using this one as an example. So as you can see here, the internal communication plane is independently used. The yellow one is the internal communication plane. This one, and here is the internal communication network. And the other three planes, the service communication plane, southbound and northbound planes are combined for at the using the green line. It combines the other three planes, and we usually connect a server to two switches that's set up as a stack, obviously for reliability. And in this networking, we connect the network ports Ethernet 1 and 5, like Ethernet 1 and Ethernet 5 to the combined plane, and connect the Ethernet 0 and 4, like look, 0 here and 4 here, to the internal communication plane. Now the servers are connected. So how do I connect my PC to the server? Usually we connect the PC to one port on the switch and connect the switch to the management port of the server. As such, we can use PC to log in to the server and do some configurations. So here's an example for your reference. How to plan the IP address. For a 3-node cluster working with 2 network planes, we need 5 addresses on the internal communication plane, such as the IBMC IP address, which is used for the logging into the server. And yeah. So now the theoretical part is over. Let's get started to install the NCE, like using Easy Switch and Easy Get. The most important one is the Easy Switch packages. So we recommended you to use Easy Get to download the packages because there's a lot of them. Let me click on. Let me open the. Let me open this link. Yeah. So so this is what EasyGet look like. It look exactly the same as we show on the PowerPoint. So so we select the user type. Obviously, we're enterprise, and the new installation scenario, and the product. We are iMaster NCE-Campus. Product version. Select our latest version V3 R22C00 SPC 100. And deployment schemes is the Huawei server, I believe. Yeah, Huawei server. And hardware, let's do x86 server and operating system Euler. Installation environment, make sure you select a physical machine for today's demo and click OK. And it's gonna pull for you all the software packages, all 61 software packages, and the documentations. So so you can batch download the documentations, because like why is this important is that on the support website, on the enterprise support website, there's a ton of documentations. I see here the enterprise network solution, cloud campus solution. There's a ton of documentations, and how to just pinpoint the documentation that you need as soon as possible. You use EasyGet. So this one EasyGet, it based on the information that you put in, the versions, the server and the hardware and the operating system installation environment. Then it pulls out the exact documentation that you need to read about. So you click all 5, and hit download and full download right here. And also the software packages. There are 61 software packages, 12 for Easy Switch and server install 6, and iMaster NCE-Campus 43 of them, and you can batch apply, full apply. And I'm not gonna apply for now, but this is how it looks like. Yeah, let's get back to our PowerPoint. So after you have downloaded the software packages using EasyGet, you can also do the manual download. For how to download it, here are the links. Here are the links that you can use if you still want to do it manually. And now we open the next tool called Easy Switch. So on the Easy Switch, basically you can create project. So basically you can create a project, plan a solution, prepare software packages, and plan the parameters. So you first log into the Easy Switch and create a project based on the live network conditions, such as the management scale, product solution, deployment scenario, and virtualization platform. The following figures use a one-click installation for physical machine for a 3-node cluster as an example. So for here, like when you open Easy Switch, it looks like this, and you do installation. So you put in your project name and product solutions, choose iMaster NCE-Campus. The version, I don't know if you can see it clear. The version is v3R22C00SPC100, and then choose the installation mode as one-click installation. Here, one-click installation. Select the version. These are all the information basically that you need to put in. Isn't it easy? And management scale and the configuration plan, controller, Euler. And then we start to plan the solutions, put down our service type. I assume we usually, most of us are using this one, the 2288X v5, and then node number, minimum cluster, and network plane. And network plane is 2, let's say. So the one that we just introduced, the 2 plane. So the network plane, select 2, and the operating system is Euler as default, and language NAT scenarios. So if NAT is required, floating IP address need to be mapped to public IP address or domain names. So in this case, apply for public IP address or domain names in advance. So by default, NAT is not enabled. When NAT is enabled, devices or users can only use post-NAT southbound and northbound IP address or domain names to interact with NCE. So for here, so after you put in the basic configurations, you comes to this page, the basic value added feature selection, and now you need to plan your solution. Select the value added features based on the site requirements. So so by default, we select virtual network management, terminal identification, network configuration verification service, and cycle manager. And the next one, after that, Easy Switch will give you a list of all the required packages. So based on your previous settings, as discussed previously, you can either download them on the EasyGet or manually download them from the Huawei support website. Oh, actually, after this session, I'm gonna give you several questions. So make sure you get you get yourself familiar with the names. Okay. Um, if you want to batch download the NCE packages, go to the tool called EasyGet. Yeah, because if you save the name, then in the future when you need it, you can just search for it on the support website. And our most important and hardest part is to plan the parameters. Now you can set the IP address and user password directly on the Easy Switch, or export the parameter list to the Excel file and and fill fill in the values in the file and import to Easy Switch is up to you. So these informations uh, can be put in manually on the web UI, and you can export it to an Excel, or you can just import it from an Excel, like directly from an Excel document directly. So pay close attention to the IBMC settings here. So after you set IBMC parameters here, you need to remember your settings and set the same values on the server's IBMC page. This is because EasySwitch uses these settings, such as the IBMC IP address, username, and password to log into the server. If the settings are inconsistent, EasySwitch cannot log into the server, and the installation fails, no doubt. And you can proceed to the next step only after you fill in all the mandatory parameters, the numbers of configured parameters and errored parameters are displayed at the upper right corner of the page. So this is the required parameters, unset parameters, the error parameters is gonna show you. Yeah, it's gonna show you right here. Till now, the plan is completed, and we finally installed the NCE on our servers. Next is NCE-Campus Installation. So to install NCE, we need to connect our PC to the server environment. If you find yourself cannot connect to the environment, check your firewall and proxy server settings. Not gonna get into details here, but yeah. So as we have mentioned before, we need to set the same values on the IBMC page. So IBMC login page, the network protocols, and IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. So so we need to set the same values on the IBMC page as those planned on the Easy Switch. Look here, as those planned in the Easy Switch. So that our PC can set up a logical communication with the management port of the server, and the Easy Switch can log into the server's IBMC page to complete configurations. So make sure you know that Easy Switch and IBMC needs to stay the same. Needs to stay the same. And after that, Easy Switch will start a pre-installation check. To start a pre-installation check, yeah, so here's start check. And this check involves many items, such as checking the available space for servers, hard disk, and checking whether NCE nodes can be logged in to SSH mode. And if a check item fails, you need to rectify the fault as prompted. So after the check is passed, you can proceed to the next step. Some of them you see warnings. There's warnings, but it's optional. So there's not a problem. Warning optional. All the mandatory ones like this needs to be finished. So this is a one-click check that can help you to check the local disk size, check the local CPU memory, and everything just in one click. So if the check fails, the system is gonna display a failure page. After modifying the information as prompted, you need to perform the check again and proceed with the installation only after the check is passed. And finally, NCE installation will start. EasySwitch logs into the server's IBMC page and starts to install the NCE on the server based on the plan parameters. You can view the process on this page. If any fault occurs during the installation, an error message will be displayed, and after you rectify the fault, installation will be resumed. So after the NCE is installed successfully, you can download a report to view the installation details. Basically, the report is not something that you can export or import to the site, but it's rather just a report that shows you all the basic informations that you have put in, and the installation and deployment time, like when did you do it. Yeah. So these are the five steps we just go through. Planning the configuration, prepare software packages, and parameters planning, and environment inspection is this one is doing the check, remember. And parameter planning is the one that we put in a ton of IP address and and the passwords. And prepare software packages is where we use EasyGet. Yeah. And installation deployment. Export the installation report as you need. And in the end is the iMaster NCE-Campus commissioning. We need to commission the NCE before using it. So NCE commissioning consists of two steps. Commission NCE to ensure the system security and enable NCE to properly manage devices and configure services. So here's the commission system. Here's the diagram. Commission system parameters, and you come to the management plane to configure the system reliability, and you need to load a license. You come to the service plane to load the NCE license. These two steps that you need to perform. And here's a page to ensure the system reliability, setting up the backup parameters. So so this is aimed at ensuring the system reliability. You're advised to use a third-party server as a backup server. So here are the requirements for the backup server that you can check. The requirements here. And the other things you need to do is to apply for and loading an NCE license. You need to load such a license after the installation, otherwise you cannot use the NCE normally. One thing that worth your attention is that you need to obtain the NCE's ESN NCE's ESN on the service plane, not the management plane. Let me see, is that written here? Oh, no, it's not. It's not writing here. But like, make sure your ESN number is obtained from the service plane, not the management plane. Or service. Yeah, from the service plane, not the management plane. The ESA is required when you apply for a license. So if you're interested in this, we can actually do another guide, do another session for licensing, like entirely. Not gonna get like super deep into the licensing. And at the very last, you just need to check the service status on the management plane. So if every service is running, is in the running state, NCE installation is successful. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today's session. And let's see if you can answer several questions. These are very simple questions actually. So you can put down your answers in the chat box below. What are the main installation modes for iMaster NCE-Campus? Is this one kind of hard? What are the main installation modes? We have introduced 3 actually. Remember for physical machine? Yeah. I see someone already saying so there's physical and virtual, right? So there's physical and virtual. For physical, you can do 1 click. Or you can do manual, right? Just gonna say M. Or you can do manual, and there's no 1 click for virtual. So there are 3 main modes for iMaster NCE-Campus installation. These 3. For physical machine, there's 1 click and manual. For virtual machine, there's manual. This is referring to, remember, this is referring to here. The second one, installation process, and yeah, 1 click installation for physical machine, manual installation. Remember, we add operating system installation parts, and then for VM, so besides the operating system installation, there's a VM installation and configuration, and others are the same. These are the three modes for installation. Yeah, and question 2. Where can I obtain the list of required NCE software packages? Where can we? So do you still remember the name of the tool? Yeah, easy get. I see someone saying Thailand, Saranaya. Right. Easy get. EasyGet is very helpful because you can batch apply for documentations and batch download the software packages. So if there's so if it's hard to like pinpoint the documentation among like a lot of documents, then the EasyGet is going to be very helpful. Oh, and the third question, which tool can be used to quickly obtain the software packages? Obviously, EasyGet. And in the 1 click installation solution, does EasySwitch need to be reachable to IBMC during installation? Anyone still remember? So the keywords here is EasySwitch and IBMC. Yes, they need to be they need to be reachable, and it's right here on this page. Like when you're when you're putting in the IP address for the easy switch, you need to make sure it's the same for IBMC, the IP address and the password. And the one last question 5. So after the iMaster NCE-Campus installation succeed in the easy switch, what operations need to be performed before the installation is complete? Remember, it's licensing, and check, right? Check, yeah. Check is very important too. Licensing and check. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for coming to today's session. And if you have any further questions, let's see if you have any questions in the chat box. Someone's asking. So there's a question asking, is separate VLAN is required for different communication planes? Yes. You usually needs to provide separate VLAN for different communication plane. And iMaster NCE is coming to place of east side. So iMaster NCE covers most of east side's management management function, and but iMaster NCE also have control and analyzing functions. So overall, the iMaster NCE can cover most parts of east side, but the positioning of the two is kind of different. So if you want to know the difference between the iMaster NCE and east side, you can go to the marketing. You can go to the marketing engineers that they can provide a PowerPoint related.